Today is Wednesday, April 1st, April Fool's Day, and I guess the April Fool joke on me is that I'm standing here with a head cold. And it's no fun. But there's been a ton of stuff going on in the shop this week, and let's check it out. Obviously, you guys can see that the sharpening station, at least the pond, sharpening pond, looks really good. I got a whole thing of water here, which is kind of makes me feel a little weird in the shop sometimes, now that I'm actually bringing water into the shop. But I've got a basin here full of water, and let's check this out. Okay, so I'm just gonna lift this guy up, make sure I grab the tubing and the motor. Get it up on top. Now, I've got the tubing all done, all ready to go. I'm just going to take the motor, or the pump, and put it down. And let's plug it in and see how it looks. Okay, I'm just going to slowly open the valve. I don't want to open up too much. There we go. All right, look at that. Awesome. Awesome. So, pretty cool. The idea here is that you would take one of these guys, and this is a holder for the sharpening stones. They're made out of oak, just like the spigot is made out of oak. Actually, all quarter saw in white oak. Take one of your stones here, put it down, grab a wedge, wedge that guy in, not going anywhere now. And then get this guy underneath the water, and you're ready to go. So you get your blade, your chisel, whatever you're looking to sharpen, and you can go back and forth right here. Got clean water if you don't want it anymore. You got enough of a slurry going, or you want more, you open it up for more, or you close it up, and you've got none. So let me talk about what I've done so far this week to get me here. So for the spigot, I took a piece of quarter saw in white oak, and an extra piece in the shop, and cut that, and then jointed that over at the jointer. Thickness plane did it as well, and then I ripped it in half, and then I, using the table saw, removed material from the inside of it to create a cavity. And then I did the same thing for the little guy here, which is the spigot. Same process, glued everything back together, but before I glued it up, I put a couple of coats of finish in the center. The finish I'm using is a varnish. It says it's great for marine applications, and that's what I'm looking for, because what I want is the water to just puddle up here and not actually get soaked into the wood itself. And it's very important when we got all this wood here. The last thing we want to do is get water into the wood and have the shape of the wood change. So got these two guys, mortised the big column into the top, and then mortised the spigot portion into the column. And I put some finish on these guys, did a little bit of sanding, and that part was done. And I also made these stone carriers as well. These are out of quarter saw and white oak. They're all doweled, and they work great. They just slide back and forth along the width of the pond here, and they all got finish on them as well. So you can have two of them up at any one time. Maybe you have combination stones, or you're working just honing an edge. Either way, it's pretty cool. And then switching out from one stone to the next doesn't take long. You can just take the wedge, pop it up, take the stone out, put it down, grab your next stone, put it on, take the wedge, wedge it in, and you're ready to go. So I am really jazzed about this. It's just really cool. So now the next step for me is to start building the cabinet that this goes not just on top of, but also inside. So I've got some really cool plans for that. But I needed to finish this first so I can get the overall depth and width of my sharpening pond before I actually went and built the cabinet. I've got a sketch of the cabinet ready to go, but I wanted to make sure that the pond would fit inside of the cabinet. So I have a chisel here that needs a little bit of honing or touch up on the edge. I got my 8,000 grit stone. I think it's 8,000, let's check. Yep. Got my 8,000 grit stone in the holder. Gonna wedge that guy in. Let's turn this on. Gonna open it up just a touch. Alright, there we go. I'm gonna take my stone over. You'll notice that when I put the carrier forward, it doesn't touch the column there. And it's a pretty good amount of water. Let's see how it goes. Now you can leave the water running. If you don't want the water running, you can always shut it off. And if you shut it off, you've got the stone, the water's going to sit there, it'll soak in. And that should be more than enough. Hopefully one of the other things you can see here is that the water is not actually staying, it's on the surface, but it's not being absorbed, it's just staying right on top, which is exactly what I was looking for in this finish. The stone gets a little dirty, you can always take it, put it in, clean it off if you want to. I'm just going to quickly lap the back of the blade. Get the burr off. Here's a piece of mahogany. Yep, I'm taking shavings right from the end grain. Look at that. The shaving right off the end grain. Perfect. So that's exactly the type of result I was looking for out of this system here, or this setup. These stones are fantastic. These new stones I got from Lee Nielsen around the beginning of the year. And, with the water here, it just makes you want to sharpen. At least for me, it makes me want to come and sharpen. So I'm really looking forward to finishing this build. I'll start editing this probably next week. I have finished editing everything for the Scotch Cabinet except the introduction movie. That's about it. And that will be up hopefully this weekend, crossing my fingers, and this guy will go up as well. As always, please subscribe to the channel, share with fellow woodworkers, and you can find everything about me at mmwoodstudio.com. And until next week, I hope you guys have a great week in the shop.